Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this video is a little bit different. This video is astrological, and we want to analyze Hailey Bieber's chart, Justin Bieber's chart. Okay, we're talking about birth charts here, and I'm not gonna take all the planets. So I am not gonna take the generational planets. I'm not gonna take Neptune. I am not gonna take I just want to focus on the big six here, and let's try and see if some things in their birth chart show up in their life. But I also want this to be an informative video, so you guys can kind of do this on your own, learn how to do it on your own and see how it's not that difficult. And of course, to know these things, you need to maybe know each sign, what it means. You need to know each planet, what it means. But it doesn't really take that much. Okay, so let's try and see. Okay, let's try and see. Let me pull up Hailey's chart and let me pull Justin Bieber's chart. Roll the charts, please. Roll the charts. Okay, for Hailey, we have a Sagittarius sun. We have a moon in Taurus. We have Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Libra, Mars in Virgo, and Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, so this is what we have for Mrs. Hailey Bieber. This is what we have for her. And then let's roll over to Justin's chart. For Justin Bieber's chart, we have Pisces Sun, Libra Moon, Aquarius Mercury, Pisces Venus, Aquarius Mars, and Scorpio Jupiter. Okay, so if you are a beginner in birth chart readings, I would suggest you guys focus on what are you asking the birth chart to do for you. So if you're asking about maybe a work situation, and you might happen to have the birth time of maybe your boss, which is very different. It's very difficult. But you might look at a Mercury. You might look at your Mercury sign. You might look at your sun sign, because the sun is the ego and the Mercury is how you communicate. Okay, but since this is about love, we're going to look at the planet that actually is going to help us tell us about the relationship. So what we're going to look for is Venus. Venus is a planet of relationships. Your Venus sign can say so much about you. It can say so much about what you like, what you invest your money in, what is your music taste, what you like to eat. It can really tell you a lot of things. How you relate to people, to one-on-one interactions. And this is all if you don't have your birth time. You don't have to have necessarily your birth time to know the essential dynamics of what a relationship can be. If you get in one relationship with someone, or you want to look at a relationship between different people that are not yourself. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the Venus in Justin Bieber's chart. So in a man's chart, or a person who is attracted to feminine energy, your Venus sign is basically what you like, the type of woman you like. And you can combine this with your moon. So your moon and your Venus normally are the type of women that you gravitate towards. For Justin Bieber, we have moon in Libra and Venus in Pisces. So they're not really conjuncting. They're not making trines. So I'm getting that he's already open-minded. What I'm going to look at is definitely any exalted placement. So exalted placements get extra points, okay, astrologically speaking. What is an astrological excellent placement? Exalted placement is where a sign feels the most comfortable in. So his type of love feels more comfortable in Pisces. What is Pisces? Pisces, looking at the Venus, just by the Venus, Pisces Venus is accepting. Pisces Venus is open. Pisces Venus is intuitive, forgiving. Pisces Venus is considerate. They're very accepting. They are the type of people who definitely don't tend to have a type. Okay? Pisces Venus are very called out for sometimes, because just like their sister sign, Venus and Virgo, they are susceptible for picking people who look nothing like them or talk nothing like them, but they still manage to love them. Okay? But meanwhile, Virgo is more like, I can fix you a little bit. Okay. A Venus in Pisces will take you as you are. Venus and Pisces people tend to date, quote unquote, people who are not on their level. At their worst, they would date people who are not on their level. And they might get judged by others because of the people they date. So let's keep this in key for this relationship, because this is definitely a relationship to look into. If we really want to be even more specific, and if we really want to be even more precise, so you want to get to that astrologer point, that astrological greatness, and you want to be an expert in astrology. Like, if you don't want to consult anyone, you can also start reading the degrees. You can read the degree. Let's go to the actual work. We're gonna do some work here, okay? Because we know the charts, but we need to try and combine them together. How we're gonna combine the charts together is by using Synastry. Synastry is person's A chart plus person's B chart together, and it's not really like creating a new birth chart, but is kind of putting one birth chart on top of the other and seeing what planets square, trine, conjunct, sextile. That's the type of thing we're looking for. We're not really looking for right now, because I'm going to do another video. We're not really looking for what the relationship is about. If we want to see what the relationship is about, we're going to use both of their birth charts and make a new one. We just want to see what the other feels about the other, okay? We're not looking at the nature of the relationship, because that's another chart we're going to look at. That's the composite chart. We're looking at the synastry chart, okay? The synastry chart. This video is only on the big six, so we want to see like the Venus sign. First and foremost, we're looking at Justin Bieber's Venus sign in Pisces. We look for anything. The thing that screams very loudly to any astrologer, if they look at the big six, is the very harsh square that Venus and Pisces of Justin, with the very harsh Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Mercury. Then again, this is very normal for a person who has Venus in Pisces, because they tend to date people who look nothing and act nothing like them. This is very common. It's very common. If we really want to be more specific, as we talked about benefic placements, there are also some malefic placements. Like, we're not gonna lie, there are malefic placements as well. And in Haley's chart, we can see how her sun is okay. Sagittarius feels not very, like, they're not very conflicted being in the sun. Actually, it feels good. But we see how Mercury suffers when it's in the sign of Sagittarius. Why? The nature of Sagittarius is very booky, philosophical. Sagittarius loves Jupiter. Jupiter and Mercury don't get together because Mercury is the home of Gemini, which is the opposite of Sagittarius. Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. Okay, but what is it about this Mercury in Sagittarius? Mercury is the mind of a person. Mercury in someone's chart can really tell about their intelligence. It can tell a lot about how they face life, how they think, the simple reasonings behind the reasoning, and their educational pursuits, how they are in school. So we already see how there is a very harsh square between these birth charts, and it can really give a lot of tension. Okay, squares give a lot of tension. We have Venus in Pisces, Justin Bieber, who doesn't really appreciate Hailey Bieber's lower mind. But not only, he doesn't really appreciate her ego, her sun. He is fascinated. He's fascinated with her personality because it's something he doesn't have. He has never seen that. But on the long run, this is very heavy. This gets extremely heavy. Okay? And the same thing for the Mercury. He might find it annoying when she talks, when she speaks, when she expresses her mind. And in this type of connection, you see how the relationship tends to be a power struggle, and I need a very needy connection. So the Mercury person who feels understood by the Venus, who is trying so hard to love the person, feels like the Sun and Mercury person is too needy. Too needy. One thing I will say is that having exalted planets can really help someone, but at the same time, having so many exalted planets in a very, very little space, so in the big six, could give very difficult, like it could be very, very difficult. Like I have seen people who have the most excellent placements, the most exalted placements, and they're not very likable. So what is it? Is it the exalted placement, or is it also the conjunction and the aspects to the other planets? But you would think that the negative aspects end here. No, there's an actual additional negative aspect before we go to the positive aspects. And the big six is crucial, as Justin has Venus in Pisces, as we stated. We have seen how the square makes things very difficult in relationships. But let's look at how his Venus in Pisces is opposite her Virgo. She has a Virgo Mars and he has a Venus in Pisces. Okay, so again, another attraction signature placement between two people is Venus and Mars types of relationships. Okay, so normally we would like to give to the more masculine person the Mars aspects, and we would like to look at the Mars in the masculine person's chart and the Venus in the feminine's chart. So if we had this in reverse, so if Justin's Mars was in Virgo and Haley's Venus was in Pisces, then here we would see a more passionate interaction. I'm not saying that it would be the most positive, but definitely we would see Justin being more invested because the roles play in the energy of the chart, in the natural energies of the chart. So the masculine goes with the masculine, the feminine goes with the feminine. But we see it reversed. So there's another power struggle where it might feel like the woman, the feminine energy, is doing the work. She is doing the pursuit. She is the one going for. She is the one doing stuff first. And the masculine person feels sometimes emasculated. Okay. Another big power struggle. But what about the good aspects in their chart? So when we're talking about good aspects in their charts, we don't really have a lot of evidence of good aspects in their big. And that's why, energetically speaking, this relationship doesn't translate in like a powerhouse couple. We see the struggle. We don't really see the powerhouse. We see the struggle in this couple. So guys, that's it. I just finished editing the video. I forgot to film an outro. That's a real thing. Like I never thought doing an outro was gonna be so difficult. But we have other negative placements. Okay, we have that Mars in Aquarius square Haley's Taurus moon. I've already talked about that in the Selena Carpenter video. Check that out. And it's basically late marriage. So this is why the relationship isn't the most harmonious. And I hope you guys understood something from the video. I hope it was helpful. And as always, if you like the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Love and take care.